Hey, what's up? Good evening, good morning, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Um, some of the actions of Russia lately, the culmination of a lot of them, the expansion, the fact that they are quite possibly linked in a few international execution style assassinations. Well, there goes the ads for this video as well. And the news is the news, it has to be reported. Let's read this. It's from BBC. I've also read Fox News's report on this and CNN's report on this. Russian link suspected in Chechen exiles Berlin Park murder. This is from BBC. The killing of a Chechen exile in the heart of Berlin will be investigated by the chief German prosecutor as a possible Russian intelligence operation, reports say. I tried to figure out how to pronounce his name. Forgive me if I butcher it. Zelimkhan Kangoshvili, 40, was shot in the head from behind in the Kleiner Tiger Park in August. A little more details. He was shot in the back of the head by a man who was riding a bike. A man was quickly arrested, but now federal prosecutors say they plan to take over the case. That step suggests a foreign intelligence service is suspected. The case is currently being investigated by Berlin prosecutors and criminal police. This guy, his other name was, I have it on the, his real name was Tornike K, but Zelimkhan Kangoshvili was a nickname of his, an alias. Now, why exactly is Russia suspected? Well, he fought against the Russians in Chechnya. According to Der Spiegel website, the suspect entered the European Union carrying papers in the name of Vadim Sokolov, 49, but that was not his real identity, it reports. And it says federal prosecutors, Peter Frank, suspects Russian state bodies were behind the murder. Russia has not responded to the reports. On this report, it's saying they haven't responded to the reports. On Fox News, Russia is denying the reports. On CNN, the latest one is also saying that Russia is denying the reports as well. So I would probably lean towards Russia's denying the reports. Yeah, they're not going to come out and say, hey, we did it. I mean, duh. According to Copa, just me saying duh makes this video bad. Anyways, continuing. Reports at the time said Mr. Sokolov was detained after he was spotted by two teenagers dumping a bike, pistol, and a wig into the nearby River Spree. Who is the suspect? According to Bellingcat, the real identity of the man in custody is Vadim Krasikov, born in August 1965 in Soviet Kazakhstan and not in 1970. It describes Krasikov as a suspect in the 2013 murder of a Russian businessman in Moscow. The victim in that attack was also approached by a man on a bicycle who shot him in the back of the head. Wow. Kind of a pattern growing there, huh? An Interpol warrant was issued by Moscow, but withdrawn in 2015, it says. Reports at the time of the Berlin murder in August said the suspect had traveled from Moscow via Paris before the attack and then had returned to Moscow. Possible Russian political assassination in a foreign country. Russia is kind of stretching itself a little bit, flexing its muscles. I don't believe it's a good idea that we should allow them to do that. Appeasement doesn't work. So who was the victim? A Georgian national Kangishvili. His real name was, gosh darn it, Tornike K. Kangoshvili is just an alias. He had fought in the Second Chechen War against Russian forces in the North Caucasus in 2001 to 2005. He had been a close ally of Chechen President Aslan Maskhadov, who masterminded the Chechen guerrilla resistance to Russia and was killed in Russian Special Forces raid. It's still early, and I have been reading, and my mouth is dry. I've been talking. Kangashvili fled to Germany after surviving an assassination attempt in the Georgian capital in 2015. He applied for asylum in Germany, but was not granted it. So he was fleeing for his life, political refugee. Looks like he fits all the criteria of a political refugee. Man, it's a culmination of a lot of what Russia has been doing lately, trying to expand, push their might around, things like that. Thing with bullies is this. If you let bullies get away with bully stuff, bullies will do bully stuff. That's just the way it is. Bullies are bullies are bullies. For whatever reason that they do it, it's what they do. And Russia is trying to show the world stage that they are a player. That in culmination with North Korea and things like that, things could possibly get a little bit tense here. This report didn't say it, but a couple of the other reports did. 2 of the Russian diplomats have been kicked out of Germany over these reports. It's standard when something big happens to kick out the Democrats of the foreign country. You want to make sure that they're not spies. You want to make sure that they're safe, that there isn't any kind of retaliation against them, all kinds of different reasons. But it's a step in the wrong direction for the world. Hopefully it gets solved. Hopefully, what am I saying? In this news cycle, people are going to forget about this in 2 weeks. Unless something drastic happens. Do I expect anything? Do I expect Russia to be held accountable? No. I expect a whole bunch of words, because what are you going to do? You got 2 big boxers in the ring, and you got a bunch of little midgets running around saying, you did this, you did this, you did this. And then the 2 big boxers pointing fingers at each other. Well, nobody's going to do anything to the 2 big boxers because they're the 2 biggest players in the room. Nothing's going to happen, hopefully. And if something does happen, it's usually not good. But you should be aware of this. Quite a few things kind of culminating into a bit of a, could we be approaching a Cold War? Another Cold War? Hopefully not. Time will tell. Anyways, I thank you guys for your precious time. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.